So I've had multiple band directors reach out to me about how we line our practice fields, so I thought I'd make this video for you. Now, we have relined this year after year, and this is also the parking lot where they do the pickup and drop off in the morning, so it gets pretty worn. We have to touch it up from time to time, and there's also parts where it's gravel, so the paint doesn't stay on there. As far as the procedure, it's going to be really easy for me to go and reline it because some of the lines are still very visible from last year. Now, if you're doing this for the first time, your field is completely unmarked, your parking lot, you're going to need a few things. The first thing I would say is you need a tape measure. This is actually an eight-step drill ruler, but if you're using just like a regular tape measure, then you just have to know that every step is 22.5 inches, and then obviously your two-step interval is 45, and so you can do the math on that. But you need to make sure that you're marking off on the sideline where your yard lines are. Do the sideline first. You're gonna need 3 people at least to do that. And you'll need this guy right here, just something for people to be able to hold on the endpoints once you mark your endpoints. And you can use this as a guide for your field striper, which I'll show you here in a second. The paint that you get for your field striper is, it's not gonna be like the paint that you go get at the hardware store. It has to have this nozzle that's a little bit different. So and on the field striper, when you hold the handle, that's when it releases the paint. Now this right here is my field striper. It's a Krylon brand, and so it's really handy. On a surface that's really bumpy, it's going to be really hard to get a straight line, so you want to make sure you go slow. But what I was really, one of the main things is I like my lines to be really a little bit thicker, so I put this little plastic part right here, I insert it so that it's going left to right. All you do is pop the can into that little spot right there, you go to the right and it's in place, and then whenever I pull the handle, the paint comes out. Okay. Now if you're lining your field for the first time, what I would suggest is having some sort of PVC setup like this, where you can go ahead and once you get your sideline nice and crisp, you can mark off the yard lines and make sure that they're nice and perpendicular. Otherwise you're going to have crooked lines. You can get one of those little T joints like that, and it'll help you be able to make sure that your lines are nice and straight. Now, I won't be able to show you a finished product today because we're going to have our leadership students come in and finish out the rest of the field. I'll get it started so that they kind of have a model of what I want it to look like. One thing that we'll also do is paint the dots for us for the 2 and 4 step intervals. And so we use this PVC right here, this PVC stick, which we'll need to kind of clean up and retape. But the ends are more like handles, so we have kids on both ends. We'll also have kids holding it in the middle because it's kind of bowed, so we want to make sure it's straight. And I'll have them start on the 50-yard line. And they'll mark every two-step interval. We'll do that on the 45s and the 35s and everything. And then once those are set, they can use those as endpoints. So they'll be able to also dot everything in between, mark it in between the yard lines as well. We use green for the 2-step interval, and then orange for the 4-step interval in between the yard lines. So that'll be something else that they do, and it's really easy once we get it going. So it just takes a little bit of explanation, but hey, it works out, and that's what we've been doing, and it's been as far as how much paint to get, we have a pretty small band, and this lot is about 40 to 45 yards. We try to keep the drill within the 35s anyway, but we usually go through about 15 cans when we reline it. So I would get more than that, and our coaches do a great job. They buy plenty of paint for our competition field, and they just buy a little bit of extra for us. We know that we're going to use a little bit, and so they buy some extra for us, and so it's really awesome to have that support as well. So last thing I'll say is, you and whoever's helping you out, that you wear shoes that you don't really care about, because they're going to get paint on them a little bit. So that would be my suggestion. I'd add that to the list of things that you'll need. But hopefully this helps, and if you're a band director and you have something you want to add to this, feel free to add in the comments or message me, and I'll add it on there. But I appreciate you guys watching. I hope this helps you out. Thanks. Bye-bye.